Well, g'day. Here I am staring into the sun, so I can't see shit. And, oh god, it just gets brighter. Ugh, the freaking chemtrails cleared. Can you believe that? One and only time you want chemtrails to exist. Just so you can see. Anyway, the sun's getting lower towards the horizon, so I'll do my best. I'll just look through my eyelashes. Thicker than my eyebrows, don't have much of them. So apparently I'm the most bigoted person in the world. It's been confirmed multiple times. I just asked Mr. Joshua Harvey. And Josh, God, man, take it in your stride. It's all good, okay? Like, you keep referring to me as a flat earther over the radio at work, and you make phone calls to me while I'm at work in a completely unrelated job to try and abuse me for things which you may or may not have done. Now you've turned around and said that it was a Sheila, a chick, whatever word you used. You've gone and blamed somebody else for scratching into my car. The earth isn't flat. It's all been well documented. The car was left outside the frickin'... Anyway, I'm not going to talk about work stuff because that is legal stuff. And so I'm going to be talking about fun stuff. And fun stuff for me is what I do on YouTube and Discord, apparently. I got suckered into Discord because on the Modern Day Debate channel, kudos to James, it's a great channel, it's a beautiful platform, all neutral, everybody gets the chance to have their say. And because I made a complaint a couple of weeks back, I said, well, I didn't make a complaint, I made a statement, is that the vast majority, if not 99.999, rounded off to 100%, of the moderators are anti-flat earth. They're not on board with the flat earth thing. He just said, all right, well, here's your wrench, and he made me a bloody moderator. Like, I didn't specifically ask to be a moderator, but I'm going to take it on board as something that, cool, I'll do that, and I'll moderate as fairly and squarely and flatly. Makes no sense. I'll just moderate as fairly as I possibly can, like if I see bigotry, and, often I see a heck of a lot of bigotry directed directly towards me, simply because I understand that the earth is flat. So, having that blue wrench means, as a moderator, it means I have the power to just unplug it for now, to delete a person's comment, time them out, or ban them from the channel altogether. And I've got kind of fattish kind of fingers, like this phone is really tiny when it comes to pressing little buttons. So when I went to delete somebody's comment because he says to me, and I guess this is the gist of this video, I should just address the root of it. The person addressed to me, he says, no one wants to talk with you, Ross. Now, on the surface, that seems like a pretty harmless statement, like water off a duck's back. Not a problem, if that person wants to talk to me to tell me that no one wants to talk to me, fine. It's not a big deal. But under the context, and this is what it's all about, it's the context. The context of the situation was that there was a flat earth debate on Modern Day Debate, and this was my first chance, being a Saturday and all that, taking it easy out here in the sun, is I had the chance to actually be a moderator, but I basically didn't. My purpose to be there is basically just to express my personal opinions which apparently we're encouraged to do. A moderator does not have to moderate themselves from personal opinion, just so long as they're following the basic rules of no personal attacks. Don't be an asshole, in other words. Just go with the flow. Don't attack the guest. So the very first thing I said, right, because it was MC Toon, is I just mentioned that he's a control. I didn't even say, and I just said that he is a troll. He is an extremely biased, racist person. And the reason you can tell that is because if you defend your own race, now I'm not saying my race is superior, inferior. I'm just saying it is my race. I'm not trying to claim anything more than that. I am Aryan. That is, blonde hair, blue eyes, long beard. I am an Aryan. And we have been one of the most discriminated against races of all time in modern history. And MC Toon is the perfect example of that, because I happened to share a random post on Facebook a couple of years ago which happened to mention something that had the word Aryan in it. And now, I could waffle on about that for so long that my beer would froth over, which it's done. So I better drink it before it froths all the way out. I actually felt like I was going to go over the curvature for a second. Oh man, that sun is beautiful. Let me sit back up again so I can see what I'm talking about. I mean, see if we're in here. So, Toon has been going about trying to discredit me because I'm Aryan. I can't help that. That's my genetics. That's what I was born with. But for me to defend myself as being an Aryan, he seems to think that that means that I'm anti everything else, which is ridiculous. It's absolutely crazy. You know who declared war on the Germans before World War II even broke out? Like early 30s? That's the Germans did everything they could to try and avoid war. Now, this does not make me a Hitler supporter or a Hitler lover or anything like that. It just makes me a truther. I'm just looking to discern the truth, where it is, how it is, as it is, without bias towards one prejudiced. Let me just take my boots off here. Ugh. Any prejudiced ideal either side of it. Now, we all know that history is written by the victor. I'll just leave it at that. Now, if Hitler was so... Oh, hang on, I said I'd leave it at that. Let me just finish on this one final thought. If Hitler was so damned evil, then what greater evil does it take to defeat that? I won't even mention Prescott Bush funding him throughout the entire time. This is not where I wanted this discussion to go. I'm just enjoying the sun here on a Saturday's flying day. think now I know what I was going back to say. It's a long, twisted thing when you live inside my head, which, in a roundabout sort of way, it's unfortunately my head lives inside of me. So we've got to deal with each other, and deal with it we shall. So on the modern day debate, I got called out because I blocked a certain person who said a certain thing, which was basically, no one wants to talk with you, Ross. And under the context is because MC Toon, who was the one who calls me out as the racist, has blocked me on the fact that I'm blonde-haired and blue-eyed. And he was the guest on the debate today. And so, there's a relevance there. It's not as though I just went to his channel and tried to bring something irrelevant over to modern day debate. I was on the modern day debate, and I love going to the after debates because every now and then I might even get called in, like I did with Amy's the other night. It was beautiful. We had a lovely chat until my bloody server stuffed up again, but I think I fixed that now. I jumped up my data allowance, I think it's called, so that won't happen again. So I go to MC Tune's channel, I make a couple of comments, and I do it in such a way so that, okay, I said, if anybody can see this comment, can you please comment to let me know I'm not banned? And after about a minute or so, I realised, okay, I'm banned. So you close the window, or tab, or whatever you call it, and then you reopen it, and you see that all your comments don't even exist. So it's like, oh, he's blocked me. So I go back to modern day debate, and Stripper Liquor, what a classic name that is. Stripper Liquor comes on and says, are you really banned? And I was like, well, it seems so, because my comments don't appear. So he went in and obviously made a comment, but by the time I got back to it, certain much of the history of a live debate doesn't show up. And the only thing that did show up at the very top of it was from MC Tune, where he's linked himself to his blog, or whatever you call it, where he's taken content of a very random, tiny little thing that I'd posted on Facebook, which just so happened to mention the Aryan race, which apparently makes me racist. If I was Asian, African, whatever, Eskimo, and I wanted to defend my own race, I'd be given a wide berth. We can't stop him from doing that. He should be proud of his national history. But if you're an Aryan, then obviously, for some reason, apparently you hate everybody else. This is the mentality of people like MC Toon, who have used me taking some little pride in the fact that, basically all the inventions that the world currently still uses did actually come from the Aryan race. And the biggest truth movement at the moment that people are seeing is this tart Aryan. As you might have noticed, my shirt has kind of like got what we call a tartan pattern. And that is where the word tart Aryan comes from, because it's a particular form of the Scottish Aryans. And the further we look, the further we see that the blue-eyed, blonde-haired, long-bearded Tartarians came from the far north. This is just human history. This is not bigotry. This is not racism. This is just the way it is. We know that the further south we go towards the equator, the darker natural skin tones got. It's not like, you know, oh, you're from Nigeria, so, ooh, I better not say that N word then, because let's just call you a Afrikaner. That's more racist than calling you a nigger because you're from Nigeria. It's just a normal expression, you know. You call me an Aussie? Oh my gosh, you racist. You bloody racist. How dare you call me an Aussie? You used the A word. That's all it is. You know, Nigerians come from Nigeria. Aussies came from the far north and overtook the bloody Australian Aboriginal land. You see how I get just bloody triggered by people like Toon? All because he has to block a true blue Aussie bloke from coming on to the after show that he invited everybody to. He invited, except for the Aryan or the Aussie or whatever racial discrimination he wishes to use against. And I don't know if you noticed, but on the modern day debate, check it out. I might try and link it in the description. I don't know how to do that on my phone, because this is all I got for the internet at the moment is my phone. And but if you have a look at the modern day debate with MC Toon discussing with an absolute unknown noob, as though that's actually a flat earth debate, but he did all right. Kudos to him. I'm not trying to say anything against him, but there was an after show discussion where people can come on and talk about the debate. So, MC Toon, you've already shown your bigotry towards me because of my race, and now you've proven your bigotry towards people of Aryan tendencies because you are a bigot. And I hope you lose a lot of subscribers for being so bigoted. Because I know for a fact that you're a coward and a liar. And you go about by deceptive means, which is something that we're all familiar with, those of us who research such matters, to know that what is the method of the people who follow the Torah? By way of deception shall we do war. Yeah, that's what you've done. You go around to all the channels and you try and backstab me with the most flimsy evidence you can find to try and say that I'm the bigot, that I'm the racist. MC2. You know who's watching you? Yeah. And he doesn't miss a thing.